Winning the Champions League with West Ham. So in my previous video, EAFC predicted that West Ham would win the Europa League. And you Hammers fans loved it. So no matter how many attempts it takes, we're going to help Moyesinho achieve the triple. So West Ham reached the last 16 on goal difference. In the first leg against RB Leipzig, they lose 3-2. And in the second leg, they lose 3-1. Game over for the Hammers already. So let's bring someone into the team to help him out the second time round. And we're bringing back
Rice, baby.
And now with Declan Rice in the team, how will they fare the second time round? And this time around, they comfortably get out of the group stage in first place. And in the last 16, they face... Ah, shit. The Hammers managed to get a 2-2 draw in the first leg. Can they get the dub in the second leg? And it's Camavinga, the goalkeeping, defensive, attacking midfielder striker. That ends the dream for West Ham. The power's in your hands now, viewers. Who should I add next? Winning the Champions League with West Ham, Part 2. So in the last video, West Ham almost pulled off a miracle at Madrid, but unfortunately fell short to Camavinga in the last leg. And to who to add next? You guys have spoken, so I've listened. You wanted a prime Dimitri Payet. So here he is in his FIFA 17 86 rated glory. This midfield's looking stacked. Can Payet lead them to Champions League glory? And, what a pile of shit this is. Hammers have been grouped in third place behind Feyenoord on goal difference. And East Antonio was the top goal scorer in the group stage. Okay, speak to me again, people. Who should I add next? Winning the Champions League with West Ham. Part 3. So in the last episode, West Ham were embarrassingly eliminated at the group stage. And as to who to add next, you guys were pretty vocal. You guys wanted the spirit of 66 himself. The prime Sir Bobby Moore. Unfortunately, due to EA Sports being unkind to defenders, the highest I could make him was an 89. But look at the rest of his stats, aren't they beautiful? But now with Bobby and Aguerd forming a claret and blue brick wall, can West Ham win the Champions League? And despite a slip up early on, they managed to win the group with ease. And in the last 16... Milan. And in the first leg, they lose 1-0 at the Bowl. Can they pull off a miracle in Milan? And they can! They thrash Milan! And in the quarters, they face Sevilla. And in the first leg, it's 0-0 at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan. Can they build on it and get the dub at the London Stadium? They can't, they lose 2-0 in the second leg. Who knew Sevilla can perform well without Bono? Okay guys, let's push on from here. Who shall I add next? Winning the Champions League with West Ham, Part 4. In my previous video, it were the Barbers of Sevilla who shaved away any chance of West Ham winning the Champions League in the quarters. And as to who to add next, you guys were feeling sentimental. Keeping alive the spirit of 66, it's one of the late great Sir Bobby Charlton. He's been added to the team. You're also vocal about another West Ham legend. This is my video, my rules, I'm adding them both. With the midfield and attack this stacked, surely they have to win the Champions League this time. Of course they win the group. In the last 16, it's Borussia Dortmund. A 2-1 win in the first leg, and an absolute stuffing in the second leg. And in the quarters we have... Oh, fuck off, man, shitty. It's a 1-1 draw in the first leg at the Bowl. Damn you, Jack Grealish. But it's a 3-2 loss at the Etihad. And so they're out of the quarters again. Oh, come on, we gotta push further than this. Who should I add next? Winning the Champions League with West Ham, Part 5. So in the previous episode, West Ham went to the Etihad and lost 4-3 in aggregate to Manchester City. And as to who to add next, you guys were almost unanimous. You guys wanted the Ballon Dawson himself, Craig Dawson. Again, thanks to EA doing EA things, 96 was the highest I can make. With Craig Dawson holding Bobby Moore's hand in defence, can West Ham finally win the Champions League? Well, after a shaky start, they win the group. And they're rewarded with Borussia Dortmund in the last 16. In the first leg, they win 2-1. And the two Bobbies showing how much they enjoy playing against German teams by taking a regal dump on them, winning 4-0. Well, the two Bobbies got to hold it in for Red Bull Leipzig in the quarters, with a 3-1 win away in the first leg, and Bobby Moore throwing deuces in the second leg at the Bowl. And in the semis, they have... with a 2-0 win away at Not the New Camp. And in the second leg, they feed tiki-taka on a rusty spoon to Barcelona to reach the final. And West Ham beat Harry Kane and co. and win the Champions League at another home game. No! Ugh, fuming. Who shall I add next? Winning the Champions League with West Ham, Part 6. So in the previous episode, West Ham fall at the final hurdle thanks to Bayern Munich. Fuck off, Harry Kane. And as to who to add next? For this episode, I was torn. Do I pick the highest rated comment, or do I pick the most requested player? So I thought, sod it. I won the Champions League and I want it now. They both going in. Ball boy harasser himself, Joe Hart, and the man that introduced West Ham to the Premier League bonds. Please, oh please, can we win the Champions League this time round? West Ham are absolutely imperious in the group stage. In the last 16, they faced Napoli, beating them 2-1 at the Bowl, and getting through another penalty shootout thanks to Gvaradona. And in the quarters, they faced Inter, winning 2-0 at the San Siro, and 2-1 at the Bowl. And in the semis, we have Bayern again. We're coming for you, you mug. Beating them 3-2 at the Bowl, and then 4-2 at the Allianz Arena. Can West Ham beat my nan in the final and finally win the Champions League? They can!